All right, man, peace. So the female tennis star, and I put female in quotes, Serena Williams, recently allegedly gave birth to a child that she decided she was going to name after the quote unquote father, but add junior on the end, even though the child is quote unquote female. Now, I stated in one of the early videos that I did, I think it was titled Serena Williams Engagement, I stated explicitly that not only do I believe, I'm pretty sure that Serena Williams is a monarch athlete, MK Ultra athlete. I believe that she was born a male and transitioned over to female. Her and her sibling Venus Williams. Venus being one of the names of the mother goddess. I stated that she most likely was hooked up with this character of Alexis Ohanian, and I stated in that video that Alexis is what they call a unisex name, and that he most likely also was born a female and was transitioned over to male, and they were put together in an arranged relationship. Right? It wouldn't shock me at all. Just my theory. But them having the child and deciding to name the child Junior, even though it's a girl, after the father, shows me once again that a lot of this relationship is based off of a gender bender rapport or dynamic in which they're trying to bring together the opposites, as above, so below. Hermetic philosophy, hermetic principle. So let's see what they have to say about this issue.
You are finally looking at the very first photo of Serena Williams' new brand new baby girl. She's released
The hell is that damn Hershey's Kiss that Serena Williams got on her chin? She had to get that. She had to get that shit removed. The hell is that?
the first photo of Alexis Olympia Ohanian Jr. Now, why is this baby named Alexis Jr.?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's Serena's baby daddy's name. Remember?
Yeah, that's Serena baby mama / daddy name. Look at this dude. This dude looked like he got ace bandages around his chest to hide his titties from popping out.
Remember,
Allegedly.
she's been dating Alexis Ohanian, the guy who was the co-founder of Reddit.
They are decided engaged. Wait, but they named the daughter after the father?
Yeah, they named the daughter after the daughter's name is Alexis Jr.
Wow.
The father is Alexis Sr. and the daughter is Alexis
I've never
Jr.
heard of that before. Junior and senior, it happens, Babcock.
Yeah,
with the dad and the son, but I've never heard the dad and the daughter.
Wow, well,
I think it's awesome. Alexis is a guy and a girl's name.
She's pro-magnet, backwards man you sound like.
It's Cro-Magnon, you idiot. And as usual, the so-called liberal Negro has to act so enlightened, has to act more enlightened than the liberal Caucasian who actually made up the philosophy that he's mimicking right now. Well, I shouldn't say that the Caucasian liberal has made it up. Really, these philosophies, like I've stated, they go back to Cush and Nimrod, who were so-called, if they were around today, would be known as so-called Africans. But it is what it is. The so-called Caucasian is the inheritor of these philosophical beliefs, at least the elite Caucasians are. And this is where most of these liberal blacks, especially the ones in entertainment, this is where they get it from. This is what they're acting out. All right, I told you guys already, this whole relationship between Alexis Ohanian and Serena Williams, in my opinion, is an arranged relationship. It's there to promote the gender-bending philosophy, as above, so below, bringing together of opposites, hermetic philosophy, so on and so forth. You know, why would you name a child that's a female Junior after the father? That doesn't even make any sense. You know, the point of last names was always to show ownership of property for inheritance rights. You know, when your name was Johnson, your last name was Johnson, it was to denote that you were the son of a man named John. Jackson, son of Jack. Robinson, son of Robin, so on and so forth. It was all done for inheritance rights. And most people were given last names. A lot of the English last names that we have, or from the British Isles, came from when the Vikings, the Normans, conquered Britain, or conquered England, I should say, under William the Conqueror, who was a so-called black man, by the way. And in order for them to categorize the people and to establish the feudal lordship, they made people take last names for taxation purposes. All right, so that they could tell the difference between You know, if you had 20 guys named John, you had to be able to tell the difference. All right. So, you know, your last name might be your village that you came from or your town. All right. Or it might come from your father. That's the point of a last name. And that's also why when a female left her father and went to her husband, her last name changed, because it denoted a change in ownership. You went from being owned by your father to being owned by your husband. Okay. I'm surprised they just didn't name the child Alexis Williams Jr. You know, just totally mix everything up and just totally promote your confusion.
Like, what are you talking about?
You heard of that? I've never heard of that.
So what?
The baby is beautiful. Alexis is a beautiful name.
Great name.
Right. There's nothing wrong with it.
So why
I've never heard of a junior.
Babcock, stick to your scoff. You're scoffing at this. You're scoffing at this idea. And now you're backing it up like a
Here's the thing, Van. It's weird, but it's not weird in a bad way. It's weird in a progressive, forward-thinking way.
I think the both of you are out of line. What's what?
Now the Jewish guy said it's weird in a progressive, forward-thinking way. Now, somebody should ask him in his Caucasian Jewish culture if they would allow that. I guarantee you he would say no. But much like Max Kellerman, the Caucasian Jews, they like to promote things amongst the other races that they would not do within their own culture. That is why they control the money, because they don't allow bullshit like that. Okay? Keep in mind, once again, Serena Williams is another one of these so-called liberal black females who was ranting and raving during the pro-black craze of 2016. You know, when everybody was woke, she was talking about how scared she was for her nephew driving in the car. Right? First thing she wanted to do really was allegedly pop out the child for the Caucasian man, and I put man in quotes, Alexis Ohanian. Okay? As I've stated ad infinitum, how many liberal black females are going to talk about how Serena Williams is taking her wealth and bringing it to the Caucasian community? How many of them are going to do that? I guarantee you it will be none. All right? A lot of times people tell you how they think, not based off of what they say, but what they don't say. It's like the liberal blacks who talk about Trump, but they won't talk about Hillary Clinton. Right? People can say a lot just by omission. Right? A lot of what people think is just based off of what they're not taught. No, just as much as what they're taught. But anyway.
It's different. It's different. I said it's different in a forward-thinking, progressive way.
That's not what you said. You said weird.
It is weird.
Weird with all types of connotations.
It's weird to give
it's beautiful.
It's abnormal.
Let me ask you
to give your daughter a junior name named after the father.
Do you guys think that like a woman can't carry a man's name? What are we talking about? It's 2017. A woman can.
Well, as I alluded to earlier in the video, how do you know that that's even a female child? Might be a male child that they're raising as a female. Isn't that the new in thing in Hollywood? Isn't Charlize Theron raising that little black child or African child, whatever the child's origin or derivation is? Isn't she raising that child as a female? Right? Isn't Gwen Stefani raising one of her children as a female, even though it's a male? Isn't Angelina Jolie, didn't she decide to raise her female child as a male child? Obviously, that is a program that is being induced in Hollywood or amongst the celebrity elite, right? Who are all witches, who are all Luciferians. This is why I mentioned in another video, when you see, like when you saw the hotline, the hurricane hotline, all those people on the phone, they're all Luciferians, right? Their job is to make you give up all your money. You're a debt slave, all right? Disaster is a major business in America. That's why they don't want to stop disasters. They want these things to happen. So another way to tax you. All right. But as I've stated, I have no verification that the child is actually a female. Might be a male child that they decided to raise as a female. Right. Have a male child from a person who was born a male turned female with a quote unquote father who was born a female but changed it to a male. Have a child that was born a male. You raise it as a female, give it the dad's name. And, these people are all bugged out. That's why when I did the video on that transgender couple, you had one born a woman turned into a man, other was born a man, wanted to be a woman, and the one that was born a woman turned into a man just so that they could be a stay-at-home wife. Now, what kind of silly shit is that?
No, that's what I'm
Name
saying.
one other
is
example.
She's leading the
Oh,
sea
name
change
one other
here.
example.
Give me one other example.
Iman Shumpert Jr.
No, it's not Iman Shumpert Jr. It's Iman Shumpert and Iman Shumpert.
Same name, baby. He named his daughter after himself. Come on, guys. It's
Let
2017.
me ask you a question. Does it work the other way around? If they have another kid and it's a little boy, do they name it Serena?
That would work. I would be fine with that. I would.
Yeah, he's just talking shit. He can't be that stupid. If he had a child with a female and she wanted to name the male child, then it was a male child, and she wanted to name that child Serena, there's no way in the world that he would allow that, right? But keep in mind that Iman Shumpert and this other chick, whatever her name is, the little frog-faced broad, I'm trying to remember her name, that he had the baby with, that child is a product of the entertainment industry as well, okay? So you never know what's going on with them.
I'll be fine with that.
That'd be okay?
I'll be fine with that for them. My son ain't gonna be that.
This is what you know what this is like. This is like
Right, you say I'd be fine with that for them, but my son is not going to have that name. And besides that, the name Iman is also considered a so-called unisex name. The model from East Africa who was married to David Bowie's name is Iman. Oh yeah, Tiana Taylor, that's her name. Tiana Taylor, the little chick with the nice body but the frog face who tries to act like she don't work out. Who's a bisexual, allegedly. But anyway.
this is like a boy named Sue.
It's like a boy named Sue, except this boy named Serena will probably have a 72-inch vertical leap and be like 250.
Look at these two weird-looking ass people over here. But hey, you know, you're not allowed to say anything about Serena Williams. Supposedly, she's royalty in the so-called black community, allegedly. Right? You know what's so funny? They never call this person Serena Williams. They never call her a coon. Ain't that some shit? But, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that. Some of the more ardent pro-black dudes will probably call her a bed wench, quote unquote. But, you know, I just wanted to include this story because I just found it very, very interesting that I made the video stating that both of them, in my view, are transgender. And then they decided to name their child Junior after the father, but have the child appear to be a so-called female. So we'll see. We'll see as the child gets older. It will be hard for them to hide the child's physical characteristics if it is actually a boy. But we'll see. Anyway, peace.